Hey, welcome back to For the Record, the one-stop auditory shop where we slice, dice, and serve up stories, sounds, and the occasional philosophical sandwich with a side of chuckles. I'm your host, Landyn Zane, indie music artist, music maestro, and your navigator through this beautiful mess we call life. Now, if you're wondering why that sounded like a Hallmark card, it is because we are diving into today's topic and subject and idea for the episode, which is I had ChatGPT write today's episode for the podcast because I was thinking I want to do a Q&A episode once a week. I want to have 2 episodes of the podcast every week. One normal episode and one Q&A, fan submission, y'all ask me questions episode of every week. But I have no real viewers right now for the podcast, and I have nobody to ask right now, so I figured I could ask ChatGPT. So ChatGPT has written this intro, and now I will continue to read what it has told us. So it says, "Now, folks, I've got a special treat for you today. As this show is still a fresh face in the podcast neighborhood, I thought, why not shake things up a bit? So here's the deal. We're diving into our very first Q&A session, and since we're just getting started, I've enlisted the help of my trusty AI sidekick ChatGPT to throw some questions my way. That is a red flag if it's saying it is trustworthy and a friend. What else? That's not a good sign for AI. Anyways, to throw some questions my way. It's like having a conversation with the future, and let me tell you, it's as wild as it sounds. This episode is all about connecting the dots between you, me, and the cosmic jukebox of topics we've got lined up. And while I may not have an audience for Q&A just yet, we're not letting that stop the good times from rolling. So without further ado, let's get into the rhythm of this Q&A beat. That was awful. That was an awful intro and explanation for the podcast. That was terrible. That was really bad. But, okay, whatever. So we're just going to keep chugging along. And remember, these questions are crafted by the digital oracle itself, but the answers, okay, no, that is a red flag. Digital oracle, an AI system calling itself a digital oracle is not a good sign. Eesh, we're doomed. We're all going to die. They're all from the heart, my heart, right here. Unscripted and uncut, I say as I read what ChatGPT has written for me to say. So sit back, relax, or dance around your room if that's your vibe. Let's jump into the deep end. All right. So I literally punched this in, hit record, and we've started the podcast. So I don't even know what this says. I'll read you the prompt that I told ChatGPT. I said, I have a special idea for an episode of For the Record based on the idea that I want to start doing Q&A episodes once a week. But because the show just started, I have no one ask me questions, so I have the idea to have ChatGPT write the questions for me. Please write me an intro to the podcast, discuss my idea for the episode, and then write me 15 to 20 Q&A questions you think would be good. So we're just I feel like there's no extra explanation needed. I think we should just dive into the questions. So we're just going to go one by one. Landyn, if you could have a jam session with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be? That's actually not a bad question. A jam. So, I kind of like that question, honestly. That's kind of I don't know if that's a good thing that I like the AI's question it wrote for me, but oh gosh. I would probably say George Harrison, because he, like, the jamming of the Beatles, like the Get Back documentary on Disney Plus, it seems like he would be a fun person to jam with. If I had to pick, okay. No, never mind. I'm a moron. I'm an idiot. This says dead or alive. If it's a dead George Harrison, alive Elton John. Elton John is number 1 through 10. 1, 2, number 1's Elton John. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's through all of it. Elton John. If I could have a jam session with anyone, it would be Elton John. It's it. Second is Billy Joel. And by second, I mean 102nd. Because Elton's 1 through 100. But number 2 is Billy Joel. Like the idea that I could sit and have a jam session and sit and play with Elton John, who was my idol in music. Musical idol. Elton John. The idea that I could sit and, like, jam with him, my gosh. I would probably I've thought about this before, of like, Landyn, when you're a pop star, you're going to get to meet Elton John. I've thought about it before. When I meet Elton John, I've got a pretty good feeling I will probably just profusely have a full-blown mental breakdown and cry. I'm almost positive that's what will happen. And I think Billy Joel is the only other person that would happen with, because he wrote my favorite album of all time. But Elton John is just like, it would be Elton John or Billy Joel. Those two, I would fully break down and cry. Hysterics on the ground. I would be a puddle. You'd get like a Swiffer sweeper. You would on the ground. You'd have to put me in a dustpan, pour me in a little glass, and wait for me to re-solidify, because I would be liquid on the ground. It would be bad, but it would be amazing. I would totally embarrass myself. Would and will. Yeah. That would be amazing, though. Okay. Question 2. What's the backstory of your favorite guitar, and why is it so special to you? Okay, that's not a great question, because you guys want to see, if you're watching the little nice video podcast I have going, Landyn Zane on YouTube, just give her a little searchy search. I only own 3 guitars. I have my acoustic guitar that my mom bought me when I was young. That is my favorite guitar, because my mom bought it for me, and it's the thing I've written almost all my songs on. Any acoustic guitar is this guitar. I have my Jazzmaster, which is my only electric guitar. And I love the sound of this Jazzmaster. It's just a cheap Squier. And then this garbage piece of crap acoustic guitar that's covered in stickers that if I'm like keeping a guitar in my car, I will put this one in my car because I don't really care what happens to it. But my acoustic guitar, I'll take it out for y'all. Oh, there she is. Nice and purty. Pull a little lightning bolt on her, a little ring. You see the little blue gems on there? The old lightning bolt pant. Look at this. I'm lightning bolted out. Lightning bolt pants. I got the lightning bolt necklace and lightning bolt on the guitar. Yeah, that's my favorite. And there's a little nice note my sister wrote for me when she moved away to college when I lived in Texas. She wrote me a little note and stuck it on the mirror for me. I'm not going to show it to you because it's nice and sweet and personal to me. But this is my favorite guitar. And that, like, oh dear Heavenly Father. I think that's good enough for now. Okay, whatever. That goes to show, like, you don't need a cheap guitar. Or you don't need an expensive guitar. That guitar is worth like $100, and it means more to me than any other instrument I own, because my mom bought it for me. I have like all the designs on it. I've written all my songs on it. It's got the little sticker on the back for my sister. Like, it's my favorite guitar. It means a lot to me. It's very special to me. Question 3. If your life had a soundtrack, what 3 songs would be absolute must-haves? Oof. I think I'm going to have to go Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts, because it's such a like that down. It's such a feel good. Yeah, that's like it's such a feel good life song. What's like if I had to choose a song that I wanted to play in the background as I fell in love, like a rom-com, what would that be? Even though that's not even remotely happening right now, but you know, I'm busy, got stuff to do. I'm good. Don't need it. I can wait. What would that be? What would I want playing in the background as I fell in love? How about like, man. See, it's hard because it would have to be a song that is so meaningful. Okay, actually, no, I know. It would be oh my gosh, Adore You by Harry Styles. That would be like that playing in the background. That or Golden. Those 2 songs off just the whole Fine Line album is such a love album. It's such a feel good album. My drink is kind of the same color of that album's vibe, but that album has such lovey vibes. So either Adore You or Golden. Probably Adore You. And then so Adore You, Life is a Highway, and I mean, I gotta go like an Elton John or a Billy Joel song. Clean. No, neither. I'm gonna go Clean by Taylor Swift. Clean by Taylor Swift. That song is so Oh my God, that's my favorite Taylor Swift song. Like it's the production by Imogen Heap. No, Imogene, whatever. Just all of it. That song is easily Taylor Swift's best song. And I think it is very transformative. I don't know if I enjoy those. I don't know if I agree with those choices. I should have looked at these questions beforehand, but we're gonna keep chugga chewing along. Yeah, I don't know. Again, as I said last episode, the ADHD Fest was the title. What am I thinking for question 4? Question 4 is, how do you find inspiration when the creative well feels dry? Okay, so I'm gonna use this question. I'm gonna change it a little bit. So, if I'm being honest, I've gotten pretty good at finding ways to make sure the creative well doesn't feel dry. Like I'm almost always exposing myself to either new music that I haven't heard before or information about my favorite artists or artists I admire or artists that have been successful so I can know how they did it, or doing whatever I can to make sure I'm gaining knowledge or experience or new exposure to something that could spark my creativity. And honestly, that is probably the largest part of it, of like just constantly learning and listening and exposing myself to new things. The other part of that is necessity of like, I'm broke. I live in LA. I'm broke. I moved out here because I knew that I would work my ass off because I had to, because I knew that if I moved to LA, it would give me no other option than to work my ass off and work hard and make it. And I think the necessity of simply, I have to be able to find something in this, helps you get through the dry spots of the creativity. Like if I was just in Iowa or I was in Texas or I was in a comfortable place where I would be okay if I didn't have to force something creative out or get a song written or anything, I don't think I would get as much done, because living in LA, it's like, if I don't finish this song, if I don't have something to release, if I don't have anything new or any new ideas or something, there's no point in me being here. And if there's no point in me being here, then I just should quit. So I think another large part of that is necessity. Maybe these Q&A episodes, this just dawned on me. What if these Q&A episodes suck? What if they're not funny? Like, what if you guys just listen, you're like, this guy's an asshole? That might go back to some insecurities and anxieties I have that nobody will ever like me. But, we're going to move past that. Question 5. Question 5, my friends. All right. Ooh, my ears are ringing. My tinnitus. Yeah, my ears. All right. Question 5. Can you share a hilarious mishap that happened during nope, we're skipping that one. 6. What's the most unconventional object you've used as an instrument and how did it sound? Unconventional object I've used as an instrument. This is a terrible question. This is a horrible question. This is a really bad question. The only thing I can think of is like when I was recording my first EPs, which I totally recommend you do not go back and listen to. Atlas 2 is good. If you go listen to Atlas 1, it's not good. Go listen to Apollo 1. Or no, Atlas 3. Apollo 1 has yet to be announced and may or may not be the title of my new EP that I just revealed. Forget I said that. Go listen to Atlas 3 and then listen to the new singles if you want to hear the new stuff. But the question, I remember when I was making Atlas 1, I had this Advil, or maybe it was allergy medicine, and I needed a shaker, like a shaker sound, like a chunky shaker, and I just used it and recorded that and used it as a shaker in the song. The song was terrible. I think it was, maybe it was New Friend. I don't know. It wasn't good. That's it. That's not a good question. ChatGPT is doing okay. The intro was not great. The explanation was awful. And some of these questions are freaking dog shit. So let's see what we got next. Oh boy. Why do I keep yawning? Ugh. Yuck. I don't know why. I know I said in the last episode I hate oh my gosh, every time I forget ASMR. I hate ASMR, but I do like the sounds of ice cubes clicking. It's a nice sound to me. But if you could switch lives, this is question 7. Question 7 with ChatGPT. If you could switch lives with a movie character for a day, who would you pick and why? Spider-Man. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Spider-Man. But I'm gonna go Spider-Man in like. I'm gonna go Spider-Man. I'm gonna go Andrew Garfield, Amazing Spider-Man 1. I'm gonna go pre Gwen's death. I'm gonna go early fights the lizard, like Captain Stacy dying. Like I can deal with that. My girlfriend's dad dies, whatever. It's better than Uncle Ben dying. Oh wait, no, Uncle Ben dies in that too. What? No, what? Well, okay. I'm still gonna go that one because I feel like that would be the most fun to live in. Either that or Captain America: Civil War Spider-Man because there's no consequences of any of his actions in that movie. I just want to be Spider-Man. Like I've wanted to be Spider-Man since I was little. I think if you would have asked me when I was young, Landon, what do you want to be when you grow up? My answer probably would have been Spider-Man. So it just kind of is natural to want to be Spider-Man. I think every kid wants to be Spider-Man. And growing up like a nerdy, chunky dork kid with glasses. I had glasses. I was a nerd with glasses. And every kid wants to be Spider-Man because they're like, he reads comic books and he's a dork like me, and I just want to be Spider-Man. And that's kind of how I still feel now. I just kind of feel like I don't wear glasses anymore, but I'm still a nerd. And obviously, I mean, dude, chicks want to be Spider-Man. Everyone wants to be Spider-Man now. Tom Holland popularized Spider-Man so much even further. And now everyone wants to be Spider-Man. But I wanted to be Spider-Man before he was popular because I'm cool and I'm original and I'm a hipster and I know my taste is original and you can't judge me for it. No. Spider-Man. That's my answer. Moving on. Have you ever written a song that started as a joke but turned out to be a hit in your mind? Yeah. Actually, this is a pretty damn good question from the old GPTs. My biggest song, Whatever Remains, started as me writing a love song. Like I wanted to write something dumb. So it's like, I know, I'll write a love song, but I'll write a love song about a celebrity. And I'll write it about falling in love with this celebrity and I'm a nobody. And this celebrity's super famous and we have to sneak around and we have to do all this stuff. And that's what this song will be about. Is about like, it's just a joke of me falling in love with a celebrity whom I will not say the name of because there was a specific celebrity in mind. But I mean, she's never going to see this. But so I wrote it and it was like, hold on. this is kind of a banger. And then like I can't remember verse 2 really, I think the second verse of Whatever Remains really got into like the nitty-gritty of that song. But then I started writing the chorus and I was like, I said I'm over forever. Like it's a banger. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. Something is right. That was a dad joke through and through. But it was pretty fun. It was pretty fire. And after that I was like, oh shoot, I actually think I have to finish this. And it did. It's my most streamed song ever. Is Whatever Remains. And it was a shit post of a song. But I do love it. I love that song. All right, question 9. What's one piece of outdated technology you wish would make a comeback? None of it. It's all awful. The user interfaces on all the old technology is terrible. The reliability of all of it. If people try to bring VHS tapes back, we need to take those people and like make them climb trees and sleep in them. VHS tapes, and I grew up poor. Like I was at my grandma and grandpa's house. Like 1 through 5, poor. Grandma and grandpa's house, they had VHS tapes, and I ruined a lot of them. They suck. They're a piece of shit. And I think it goes back, another thing that goes back to like the nostalgia wave that's sweeping the nation. Nostalgia, come and get it. Gosh, my ADHD is freaking off the reservation today. But I just think old technology needs to stay old. The new stuff is better. It all works better. It all is reliable to an extent. There's certain, I think if you want to talk about music making, certain like old instruments and synths and guitars, that's a little bit different because especially guitars, once they get worn in, they can have a better and more warm sound. But I think overall, technology just needs to stay where it came from. Oh, wait, no. I take it back. We need to bring back the Game Boy Color. The Game Boy Color. I just want to play Yoshi's Island on the Game Boy Color with my sister. That was my Jimmy Jam. That was my peanut butter and jelly jam. Yoshi's Island on the Game Boy Color with the 36 pixels for the whole screen. Okay, that was my shit. Other than that, we need to leave everything in the past, but bring back Yoshi's Island on the Game Boy Color. How do you balance personal life and the relentless pace of producing content? I don't. I just winked at the camera for everyone listening to the audio, but I don't. My life is only music and content. And actually, this is an interesting question because it's Saturday when I'm recording this, and I came back here to record from one of the producer and artist, songwriter, and everything meetup sessions, and I was talking to this guy, Mark. Good guy, shout out Mark. And we were talking about, and he was like, as long as you can stay consistent, we were talking about me starting the podcast and having all these other ideas that I will not say because I don't know if I'm going to do some of them. And he was like, as long as you can stay consistent, you should do these things. And he was like, but it sounds like you're overworking yourself. And I told him, I was like, look, this is my life. I was like, I have my life, and my personal life is music and is doing this because it's all I want to do. It's all I want to do. There's no other thing I want to do other than make music and like build an audience and build a brand. And I want to be an artist and a creative, and I want to do it successfully. And that's all I want to do, period. Other than like play Minecraft and go to movies and hang out with friends every once in a while. Like all I want to do is make music and do this artist thing and be creative. So like there is no balance because I don't think there's such thing as work-life balance. One universal work-life balance, because my work-life balance, I really do need to like log my hours for how much I work between my work and music and content and everything. It's probably like 100 hours a week. And people think that's insane. But for me, it's like, I love it. I love it so much. I love it so much. So the balance that for most people, 100 hours a week is insane. It's unsustainable. But for me, it's like, I love this more than like, this is hard, but I've had times in my life where like I was down for real and thought like my life is going nowhere. I swear to God, I just peeked in the camera and I think it looked like I had a camel toe. We're moving on. But I've had times in my life where it felt like I was going nowhere and the things that I wanted to do were never going to happen. And even during like the financial stress of times or like I have bills to pay or anything, this is still all easier than those moments because I'm doing what I want to do. So that's the answer to the question that I don't think I really answered, but you know, what are you going to do? Question 11. What movie or TV show do you think has the most underrated soundtrack? Hold up. That's a good question. So, well, I guess it's a score too, but if I have any excuse to talk about La La Land, I'm going to. I'm just going to say La La Land, even though really the score for La La Land, it's a score, not a soundtrack, but the soundtrack is the songs too. So I'm just going to say La La Land because it's the greatest movie ever made. It truly is underrated. If you want to go like straight soundtrack of like songs pulled from other artists, which I guess is probably the intention of the question. Don't be a smartass. I'll probably say Garden State has a really great soundtrack. I think that's what it's called. Garden State with Zach Braff. I think that's the name of the movie. I'm struggling to think of anything else. That's probably Garden State. I think it's a good choice. We're moving on. Question 12. Which fictional band do you wish were real, and what role would you play in it? Which fictional band do you wish were real? The only fictional band I think I know is This Is Spinal Tap. Or Spinal Tap. So, yeah. What role would I play in it? I don't know. Don't they just do drugs in that movie and a bunch of crazy shit? So, join, even though I don't really want to? That's a terrible question. Bad question. Thumbs down, ChatGPT. Question 12. Nope, question 13. Moving on. In an alternate universe where you're not a musician, what would you be doing? I've thought about this before because like that goes to the idea of like, do you have a backup plan if music doesn't work, Landon, or content or anything? And it's whatever. We're not going to get into that conversation, but the idea, I don't know. If I was, okay, this question is kind of a cop-out because the question says, if you're not a musician, what would you be doing? I would be doing something creative. I would be a filmmaker, an actor, a writer, a director, screenwriter, something. But if you change the question to an alternate universe where you're not a musician or where you're not creative or being creative, what would you be doing? I've thought about this before. I think a life for me in which I'm not doing something creatively fulfilling as my job or almost every day, I don't think that's a life I would last long in. If it was like I'd work in a factory and couldn't be creative and not even like didn't have a side hustle, just had to like work and do nothing, I don't think it would be good for me. So if I wasn't a musician, I would be doing something creative. But if I couldn't be doing things creative with my life, I think I don't think it would be good for Landyn. I don't think he would be in a good situation in his mental health, and it would not be good. Question 14. What's a guilty pleasure song you love but might surprise your fans? Okay. Mambo Number 5. I don't know if that's a guilty pleasure song. I know everybody thinks about, or I don't know if everyone does, but like I think about the Office that part of the Office when I think of Mambo Number 5. But I do love that song. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the car, so come on, let's ride to the liquor store around the corner. Like that's a banger. I mean, it's not a good song. Was it Lou Bega? I don't know what he did after that or before that. But like it's not a good song. But it's a bop. It gets you moving. Like it's a fun bad song. And I think that's really all you need. I'm trying to, like, are there any other songs that are like that for me? I don't know, like, I'm Blue, Dabba-dee Dabba-die. Oh, no. Obladi Oblada by the Beatles. And Susudio. Those are two songs that people absolutely hate. Susudio by Phil Collins, obviously. And people hate on those albums, or those songs. They're bangers. They're both so upbeat and happy. There's a girl that's been on my mind all the time. Susudio. Like, come on. And Desmond is a barrel in the marketplace. Marnie's a singer in the band. Come on. Those are banger songs. Banger songs. And people are like, they're too happy. They're too happy. You're telling me a song? You're trying to look me in the face and tell me a song is too happy, and that's why it's bad. You are a sad, stinky person, and you should be in therapy. If you think a song is too happy and that people can't enjoy upbeat, happy songs, you stink. Now, do I write happy songs? Not often. I write what I call crying on the dance floor. An upbeat song, upbeat production. Oh, super sad lyrics. Because that's my vibe. That's my vibe of my own music. But I think the upbeat, happy, just dancey, fun songs, they're great. And people shit on those songs. And that's why, like, Paul McCartney wrote, silly little love songs? Or happy, silly love and sing-along songs. I don't know. But that Wings song, because people always just like, all he writes is love songs, and they are all bad. And they just roasted him for it. And he wrote it, and it's a great point. The song makes a great point, which is like, why should you not enjoy love songs? Why should you not enjoy upbeat, happy songs? And I think... So my guilty pleasure songs is that I enjoy those songs because I think they make life more enjoyable. I think they bring light and levity and who knows to life, because life is dark sometimes and it's blech. It sucks sometimes. It's like blech. Sometimes life, you just wake up and you're like, all right. And then you turn on like Susudio and it's boom, 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 boom. There's a girl that's been on my mind all the time. Studio. Bum, bum. Please don't judge my voice on that based on how you think my music will sound. I sing a lot better in my music. But like it's just like those songs start playing and the sun pops out. You're like, ah! It just makes life more fun. And I think I don't see a problem with them. But those are my guilty pleasure songs. Question 15. Describe the most surreal fan interaction you've had. Never had one. Never met a fan in person. If you see me in public and you are a fan, come up to me and talk to me and we will sit down and we will discuss, because I've never met a fan in person because I don't have that many, because I'm a small independent artist right now. I will let you know in a few years' time about the most surreal fan interaction I've ever had, because at that point, I will have fans to meet with, and that I see in person. So until then, we're gonna move on. 16. If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be, and could you write a song about it? That is a horrible, awful, stupid question from ChatGPT. That is it's really just a freaking punt of a question. It's dumb. Like, why? I don't know. If I had to eat one meal for the rest of my life, I'm going to assume not a beverage, because if it's a beverage, I'm going to say coffee, because I have a caffeine addiction, the size of the River Thames. But if I had to pick a food, if we're going to assume that it doesn't have to be a food that will sustain me nutritionally, I'm going to pick plain M&Ms, because my favorite little thing to do, this is a little insight if y'all want to adopt this trick and start doing it for yourselves, and you also want to get roasted and told by everyone around you and asked if you have OCD, you can pick this little trick up. I like to do. I take the little M&Ms. If you go to the little movie theats, you go see a little film, a little picture, little 24 frames per second in an auditorium. They have a little tray. You take the little baggie of M&Ms. You take the little tray. You clean the tray off. I don't clean the tray off, but I always tell people I do, because I don't care about germs, because my immune system is gangbusters good. But you clean the tray off. You take the M&Ms, you pour the M&Ms on the tray, and you sort the M&Ms by color. And then after you sort the M&Ms by color, you do this during the trailers, you put the M&Ms in little squares by color. So they're all in their own little squares and rectangles, color-coded. And then the movie starts, and you can say, I'm going to eat some blue, I'm going to eat some red, I'm going to eat some green, some yellow, and some brown. I think I got all the colors. And orange. Are there orange? I think, maybe orange. But you get a little variation, you get a little color coordinating, and you're going to get made fun of and looked at like you're insane. And that's what I like to do, and that's why I would pick M&Ms. Could I write a song about M&Ms? Now that I think about it, I think I could, because I truly love M&Ms. I really, really do love M&Ms. Plain M&Ms. the best. Question 17. How do you approach writing lyrics? Melody first or words? I think it depends. I think most of the time, I think it's kind of a both situation, which is a total cop out of an answer. But for me personally, the way I do it is I usually will either have a chord progression I'm playing on the guitar or a beat or a rough chord or really rough beat I've made on my computer, and I'll write to that. And I won't show you because you freaking suckers will slow it down and you'll steal a bunch of my lyrics, but I have this thing on my phone that is like, I don't know, 20 pages of just like lyric and title ideas for songs. So I'll usually be singing something in mind. I know I'm going to finish and continue writing a song when if I either have a chord progression or a beat that when I keep hearing it, I keep hearing melodies. And after when I hear melodies that I like and I think are catchy, then I'll start writing lyrics to them. And that's when I'll go through my phone and like be like, oh, I like these lyrics. I like these lyrics. I like these lyrics. Sometimes I will have lyrics first, but lyrics and melody always come together at the same time, which is like I can't do the Elton John, Bernie Taupin thing, which is like Bernie would write the lyrics with no melodies in mind and give Elton the lyrics, and Elton would write the music and the melodies to the lyrics. I can't do that. I've tried. It just doesn't turn out well for me. But it's usually a combination of like fitting certain lyrical hooks or things I've written down before that I like into melodies that I've come up with in the moment while I'm producing or writing on the piano or the guitar. What's a trend in music you're excited about right now? Ooh. None. 19. How do you stay grounded in the whirlwind of the music industry? I don't. Question 20. What advice would you give to your younger self just starting out? Oh, dear God. We could talk about this for the rest of the episode. Holy shit. This is question 20. ChatGPT decides to drop the bomb of what advice would you give to your younger self starting out as the last question, and they're like, here, talk about that. There's probably nothing you have to talk about in terms of life or advice. Gosh, that's some freaking... It was setting me up for a trauma dump. You guys trauma dump? Are you a trauma dumper? I'm a trauma dumper. If I'm in public, meet a stranger, we start talking about life. Especially if I've had a beverage, a little syrup, little spirit, not syrup, a little spirit. If I've had some spirits or a beer, I'm a trauma dumper, and I will very quickly, people will know my entire life story. And that's not good. Don't trauma dump. It's not good. But I do that, and ChatGPT is baiting me and wanting me to do that. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to say, what advice would you give to your younger self just starting out? I'm going to give some... I think the most simple advice is the thing that I even worry about now is no matter how much you think people care, people don't care about you. They don't care what you think. They're not worried about you as much as you think they are. They're not going home at night and thinking, man, they're not thinking about you when they go home, good or bad. And if they are, whatever. But you just like, you can't assume that people are thinking about you all the time, because they're not. Because everyone thinks like that because of certain levels of insecurity and anxiety. Oh man, my light died. We're going to keep going. Certain levels of insecurities, and like, don't live your life for other people, because if you live your life based on how you think other people are going to react, or what they will think, or how you think they're going to react to you, you're not going to live a good life. You're not going to live a happy life or fulfilling life, because one day you're not going to be in the moment you're in now. You're going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, however many years or decades in the future, and you're going to have cancer, or you're going to be dying, and you're going to be sitting there being like, why did I care what Susie Magoo 13 on TikTok said that stopped me from doing what I wanted to do. And now I'm on my deathbed and I didn't do the thing I wanted to do because I was concerned about what they were saying. And I've really, I think it's been a big learning experience for me. And I think it's one that everyone is learning. Just like, who cares what people think about you? As long as you like you, that's all that matters. And I'm deeply insecure about multiple things. And I'm not saying I'm perfect in any sense of the word. I think we all have our insecurities. But it's just like consciously having this thing in your head of like, I can't let people's thoughts and ideas and beliefs about me affect how I go about my life. I think that is a very important mindset to have. Because like I moved out to LA. I literally dropped everything, dropped out of college, moved to LA to become a pop star. And like, if I sat and really tried to think about what did this person think about, what did this person, they all think I'm crazy. They all think I'm a lunatic. Or most of them. Even the ones that love me think I'm crazy. But you can't let that affect you or stop you. Because if I sat and went through it, I wouldn't have done it. If I thought, what is this person from high school going to say? What is this person that this happened this long ago, or this and that and the other, and what about this person? If I did that, I wouldn't have come and moved to LA and pursued any of this. And this is the best decision I've ever made for myself. So if I had to give any advice to my younger self, I would say, don't worry about what people think. Make sure you are taking care of yourself and doing the things you need to make sure that you love yourself. And that, I think it's good advice for anyone. Like, as long as you like who you are, that should be all that really matters. As long as you're not a dog shit person. But I think I'm a good person. I would like to think I'm a good person. There's probably somebody out there that's like, actually, but hey, brother, have y'all seen Sketch? Who is Sketch? Where did Sketch come from? Like, I don't know where the man came from, but I'm seeing him on the TikTok. Funny guy, let me tell you. He's a pretty funny guy. And then I think he met some of the NFL players. Like, my man's making moves, and I respect it. But we've run out of questions. But I do want to try, like, I want to try one more thing. Like, what if I went, write me 5 of your most creative Q&A questions for me. Sure. Let's see what it writes. I'm going to be honest, ChatGPT, you're getting a C+, maybe a B-. Some of these questions are pretty good, and some of them are really, really just bad. They're bad. All right. Let's see. Oh, boy. These questions are generating, and some of them suck. All right. It's not done, but I'm going to start reading. Absolutely, Landon. Here's a set of creative questions that intertwine with your journey, your passion for music, and the quirky intersections of life. Oh, dear God, help us all. Question 1. If each of your songs were a room in a vast musical mansion, can you describe what walking through the Zane Manor would be like, detailing the ambiance and artifacts of, say, the hit single hall or the lyric library? What kind of question is that? I said creative, not moronic. Like, what? That's dumb. That is a dumb question. But to answer the question, it would be a nightmare. Walking through a musical mansion of all my songs and the ambiance, it would be horrible. It would be like there would be a discotheque, but everyone on the dance floor would be dead. Like, if that's all what all my music is, it's like crying on the dance floor. What I was describing, it's all upbeat. It's and then like you listen to the lyrics and it's like depressing. That's the music I like to make. It's fun. It's a good dichotomy. And I think if you put that in a house, it would be like a beautiful mansion with bright lights where everyone inside is dead. It would be, I got it. It would be Succession. It would be Succession. As I say that, I'm already kind of disagreeing with it, but I'm going to just keep going with it. My musical manner, Zane manner, would be the equivalent of the TV show HBO smash hit Succession. All the money, great appearances on the outside, inside, depressed, sad. Yeah. And I'm not saying I'm depressed and sad, but my songs, oh boy, they are sad and depressed. And I think that's what it would be like. Question 2. Imagine your life is now a critically acclaimed musical. What are the show-stopping numbers that bring the audience to their feet? And what behind-the-scenes moments would only be revealed in the director's cut? So, based on the director's cut, I'm going to assume they mean movie musical. So, based on that, it would just be like... It would be... Oh, man... Bring the audience to their feet. I'm going to assume that's like an upbeat song, because a musical moment. I think it would be a moment that is yet to happen yet, which is like my breakthrough moment that I think every artist has to some level that sticks in their head. I think it would be the moment of like, in the musical, like the background fades away and I start playing the upbeat song, and I smash the crowd, and then it cuts to a quick montage, and then like hits and records and sales and money and cars and fame and fortune and all that. And then it would go on to later reveal like that was a horrible thing and it was not a good decision and it was all bad for me and my mental health tanked. And then like that's because that's how all the movie musicals go when it talks about famous people in the biopics, is that they get what they want and they realize this isn't what I wanted. And I think that would be the on their feet moment because, like I said, crying on the dance floor. It would be upbeat. It'd be a little quickie tap, foot, a little dance, do two-step. But it would be depressing. But the thing about that is like, obvious, is that I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm gonna play a music career a little different than I think most people. And I'm gonna make sure I do it the right way. The right way. How many people have said that before? Whatever. Question 3. In a fantasy world where your instruments have personalities and can talk, which one would be your wise mentor, the comic relief, the wild card, and what sage advice or mischievous antics would they offer? Okay, that is far and away the worst question this thing has asked. That is just that's dumb. That's a dumbass question. That is dumb. Like, there's creative, and then there's stupid, and that is stupid. We're skipping it. Question 4. If you could compose a song using sounds exclusively sampled during a day in the life of Landyn Zane, from your morning routine to studio sessions, what would that sound like, and what would be the most unexpected sound to make the cut? Most unexpected sound would be a fart. I would have to put a fart in there because a fart is funny. Who doesn't laugh at a fart? If you are someone that truly like a well-timed fart, if you don't laugh at that, you hate life. Because a well-timed fart joke and a well-timed little squeaker, a well-timed fart, there's nothing funnier. And I would probably try to find a way to make that in. That or me screaming in my car to another song or screaming at someone in traffic. Ooh, no, it would be that. It would be me screaming at someone in traffic because these LA drivers ain't know a thing about driving. They cannot drive. Not one person in LA can drive other than me, which is probably what they all others say. What everyone else says too. But the difference is I'm correct because these LA people can't drive. None of them know how to drive in traffic. And they all stink at it, and they all need to learn how to drive like a Texan because living in Texas taught me to be a good driver, and I think these LA people need to take a page out of the Texas driving and adopt that style. A lot more people would probably die if I'm being honest, though. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, studio. The sound would be me yelling at someone in traffic or a fart. Probably both. Quay. Quay. That's a little slang for you that I just made up instead of okay. And I don't even know what else I was trying to put it in with. Oh, no, I was saying question 5 and okay, and it became Quay. So, Quay 5. If you were to host a dinner party with characters from the songs you've written, bringing them to life for just one night, who would be seated around the table, and what conversations or lyrical debates might unfold? Let me tell you, I'm not answering that question because it would just be all the people I've had crushes on that I never ended up dating, or people that I have, or people that I have only met for a night. I'll put it that way. I'll skirt the topic a little bit. It would be people that I briefly knew for a moment, and people that I wrote love songs about that I never ended up dating. Because that's what I do. I write songs about people I never dated. And that would be a dinner party nightmare. It would be awful because it would literally. I'm trying to think. I think it would be it would be my worst nightmare of a dinner party. If I do imagine my worst nightmare in terms of like what would happen about people discovering my song lyrics and really going through and reading my song lyrics, it would be a nightmare. It would be awful. Because like, oh yeah, God. Oh my God, the more I think about it, the worse it becomes. That would be horrible. I don't want to host that dinner party. Ugh. Yeah, no. Well, that was question 5. So like now what do we do? We'll go through. I'm gonna give ChatGPT a review overall of writing this episode and writing the questions. The intro it gave me was not great. The explanation it gave me was awful. It did call itself a digital oracle, which is a huge red flag. If you ever are on a date and someone calls themselves a digital oracle, that one would be strange. 2, a red flag. Red flag. Don't let that happen. And the questions it gave me were probably 50-50, hit or miss. Maybe a little better. Oh boy. I don't know why I keep yawning. Maybe it's like, well, no, I do know why I kept yawning. I only slept 4 hours last night because it was so damn hot in this room. This little ADU cubby little closet I'm living in that I do kind of love. I do kind of love it here. But that's why I keep yawning. Back to reviewing ChatGPT. The additional questions it wrote, the extra 5 questions, weren't great. They weren't bad. No, they were bad. They were bad. They were pretty bad. Yeah. And then like, there's this outro here that's written for me. But like, overall, ChatGPT, I'm going to give you a thumbs down on writing the whole podcast episode, the script and everything. No bueno. As far as human intervention and humans surviving and still being able to be creative, based off of this, we're going to be good for a while. So, I think that's it. Like, go stream my music. Go listen to the previous episode of the podcast. If you want to be a part of the next Q&A episode next week, DM me a question you want me to answer. Give me an old DM on Instagram. I think it's Landyn.Zane at Instagram. Let's make sure. Follow me on, TikTok and YouTube and Snapchat and everywhere else. So like, I'm Landyn Zane, man. It is. Oh, no. My Instagram username is Landyn Zane, but it's LANDYNZ4NE because the 4 kind of looks like an A. Yeah, but that's kind of what I got for y'all. So I'm just gonna read this little outro ChatGPT has written for me here. If you're listening, Rate the podcast. If you're watching, subscribe, like, share, DM me again so you can be on the next Q&A episode, share and everything. Love y'all. And this is what ChatGPT has written for the outro. And that's a wrap for today's Q&A session on For the Record. I hope you've had as much fun as I have. And hey, if you've got questions brewing in your mind, send them my way for our next fan-powered Q&A. Until next time, keep those records spinning, keep dreaming big, and remember, the only bad question is the one left unasked. Ugh. Catch you on the flip side. That was an awful outro.